Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day per week Wisdom and Legacy Building podcast. This is day 449 of our trek, and today is Motivation Monday. Every Monday, we will hike the trails of life that will encourage and motivate you to live the rich and satisfying life this week. Today, we will explore responsibility is the key to success. We are broadcasting from our studios at Home 2 in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you were able to listen to last Friday's podcast, then you know that this past weekend we moved permanently back to the big house in Marietta, Ohio. I shared a few details on the reasons for the seemingly abrupt decision, although we have been planning and praying about it for several months. The final details came together much faster than we anticipated. I recorded this episode last Friday in the middle of our packing and preparation to move, and I will update you with the actual details that transpired over the weekend in Wednesday's Wisdom Trek. The choice to move back to Marietta full-time was a difficult one, but one which is responsible for us, and we are confident it is a prudent choice. As with all choices that we make in life, we need to be responsible and take responsibility for those choices, regardless of the outcome. To be responsible, you need to be prepared for the challenges and obstacles in life so that you will have the ability to respond properly. You could say that responsibility equals response-ability. Let me explain on today's short trek what I mean as we look at responsibility is the key to success. Today on our hike, let's start with an applicable statement from a letter that the Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 11. Make it your goal to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands, just as we instructed you before. One of the great principles that we need to emphasize to keep ourselves and our society healthy and productive is the principle of personal responsibility. It is a principle that needs, through repetition, to be programmed into our core belief system, or as we share on Friday, our philosophy. It needs to be taught and demonstrated in the home and at every level of society, including among the highest business and political leaders of our communities and nation. It seems that, especially in our Western world, that we have lost a sense of what responsibility really means. If people don't believe that they are responsible, they will not act responsibly. On the other hand, though, if we emphasize these principles properly and the people believe and know that they are responsible, most will consistently act responsibly. Obviously, we are not responsible for much of our background and upbringing, but we are fully responsible for what we do with these and for what we become. The world doesn't owe us a living. As the Apostle Paul wrote in his second letter to the church in Thessalonica, chapter 3, verse 10, "Even while we are with you, we gave you this command: those unwilling to work will not get to eat." When we repeatedly do anything for others that they can and need to do for themselves, we make them and keep them overly dependent, immature, and irresponsible. And this really isn't a loving thing to do. I remember reading about some seagulls in a fishing village that, for many years, fed on the scraps that the fishermen left. When the fishing industry in that place closed, the seagulls had forgotten how to gather food for themselves, and they died of starvation. The same principle applies to people. When we do things to keep them overly dependent, we destroy their growth and maturity. It is the same with God. He will bend the heavens to touch the earth to do for us what we cannot do for ourselves, such as giving his son Jesus to die on the cross on Calvary to pay for the just penalty for our sins, but he will not do for us what we can and need to do for ourselves. Think about it this way. God does feed the sparrows, but he doesn't throw the food into their nest. One effective way to program responsibility into our unconscious mind is to constantly be saying or thinking to yourself, either silently or out loud, "I am responsible, I am responsible, I am responsible." And say it with feeling, that you really mean it and you believe it. Just mouthing the words are meaningless. And don't stop there. Actually become responsible in all the areas of your life. To paraphrase James chapter 2, verse 14, "What good is it, my friends, if you say you are responsible, but you don't show it with your actions?" As we end our trek for today, think about the areas of life where you can become more responsible. Prepare today so that when the opportunity to act responsibly arrives, you will be able to show your intentions with action. Tomorrow's short trek will be part of our Wisdom Unplugged series that we are now hiking on Tuesdays and Thursdays. These 3-minute wisdom supplements will assist you in becoming healthy, wealthy, and wise throughout the entire week. So encourage your family and friends to join us and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. That will finish our trek for today. Just as you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom, we ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. And if you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. The journal for today's trek is also available at wisdom-trek.com. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.